in color. The continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Less than an hour ago, Joe Rossi showed up at the home of Marsha Russell and announced he was going to take out her daughter, Carolyn. There had been no plans, no date of any kind. Joe simply assumed that Carolyn would be interested. But Carolyn must decide whether her feelings are honest or whether she is spending time with Joe in order to hit back at her mother.
This used to be the place where people came to get acquainted. And before that, it was Tucker's Point. And now it's the cliffside along the coast.
Well, it'd be nice and private here.
Mr. Rossi, how do you talk?
You'd show me the sights.
Well, there's not very much to see.
Oh, there's always something to see if you look hard enough. Unless you'd feel safer up on the coast.
No, I hate crowds. This is the deck, and that's the stern. The stern. And, of course, that's the bow.
Fascinating.
Cabins.
Yeah.
All's ashore who's going ashore. All ashore who's going ashore. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's Scarlet. How she does carry on.
I'm more interested in you.
Why?
You've been here before.
I like Tucker's Point better.
Why'd you come tonight?
Fire extinguisher.
To be with me? Or because you want to frost your mother because she said you could?
I haven't decided yet.
You know your mother's probably got icicles down to her knees. And you're here with me. Why don't you make the most of it? That's a good start.
Joe.
Look, why don't you just close your eyes and pretend you're at Tucker's Point?
Playtime's over.
That's what I've been saying.
Take me home, Joe.
You know, you're gonna come up with a corny line like that. I'm just gonna have to say we just got here.
I mean it.
Well, so do I.
Now, right now.
Tucker's Point. The cliffside along the coast. This old tub. You know, you've been this route before. Or did you always get off before it was finished? Huh?
Take me home.
You know, you knew what I was doing when I stopped the car. And you knew what you were doing when you didn't tell me to keep driving. Grow up.
Not tonight.
You know, you're gonna get a little education. 1, get off the boat unless you want to get rocked.
I'll try to remember that.
2, I'm done with holding hands and spin the bottle. You want that, try the local sandbox.
Local sandbox, right.
3, I dig you. But not enough to climb back into diapers. The next time we play by my rules.
What makes you think there'll be a next time?
On line 22. Dr. Rossi.
Yes?
May I speak to you a moment?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. You caught me at a very bad time.
Oh, I realize that. Perhaps later when you're free.
Well, I'll check my appointments.
It will just take a minute.
Well, is it urgent?
Yes.
What is it?
Your brother.
What about him?
It's a bit involved.
Could you be brief? I have an emergency breaking.
Yes, of course. I'll come right to the point.
Yes, please. What is your name?
Russell, Marsha Russell. I'm Carolyn's mother.
Well, I'm sorry. You seem to think that I should know who Carolyn is.
Your brother is going out with my daughter.
Oh, I hadn't heard. She must be very attractive.
Yes, she is. She's very attractive. She's very sweet. She's very innocent.
She seems ideal.
Yes. And I want very much for her to stay that way.
Well, it doesn't take much for me to assume that this is where the conversation shifts to my brother. Please come over here.
Dr. Fielding, call
Sit down,
emergency.
Miss Russell.
Dr. Fielding, call emergency.
Now, what exactly is the problem?
Your brother is forcing himself on her.
You mean your daughter's going out with him against her will?
Well, not exactly.
Then it must be against your will.
Yes, yes.
Does she want to go out with him?
Of course she does. On the surface, he's very cool. He's very hip. Carolyn doesn't search much deeper than that.
Well, perhaps she doesn't have to search much deeper than that.
Oh, come, Doctor, you surprise me. Your brother's reputation has been one of the best pieces of back fence gossip.
Back fence?
Yes, back fence.
Well, no need for me to deny that, is there? You see, maybe that makes me naturally defensive about Joe, but he got himself in a lot of trouble when he was a kid, but it's all in the past. He seems to be trying to straighten himself out.
Doctor, I can see what a problem this is to you, but that's why I'm here. I know we can work this out.
Well, what do you recommend?
I want you to tell him to leave her alone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Russell. That seems to be where we get hung up. You see, Carolyn's your daughter. Joe's my brother. He's not my son. I mean, I can't tell him where to go, who to see, who not to see.
Well, surely you have some influence over him.
Frankly, I have very little. Well, I can see how disappointed you are, and I'm sorry.
Doctor, I came to you because I'm desperate.
I can't run my brother's life.
Is that final?
I don't like to use that word.
Most doctors do.
I'm sorry, I have some x-rays to look at.
I'm sure you do. Goodbye, Doctor.
Miss Russell. I realize you have a problem there. I'd like to help you with it as much as I can.
Good. My daughter is...
young.
Yes, young. She's too young. And your brother is...
He's old.
He wants too much.
Oh?
I'm afraid so.
Well, what exactly has he done?
I don't really know. But I know how the machinery of a man's mind works.
Well, that gives you a definite advantage, doesn't it? Because I don't know how the machinery of a woman's mind works.
Well, Doctor, I don't know what else there is to say. I'm sorry I took up your time.
Dr. Rossi?
Hello?
I'm sorry to disturb you, Mike. Can you get over here right away?
Where are you?
The house.
Well, what is it?
Somebody wants it.
Well, that's wonderful.
This woman's coming back soon, and I'd like you here to help me decide. I just can't trust my own judgment.
Eli, listen, I don't know if I can make it right away.
Please, Mike, this is important.
All right, look, if things go all right here, I may be able to make it in the next half hour or so.
Good. I'll stall her.
Okay.
Hi,
Try the animal center.
I'm housebroken.
Good for you.
Hey.
Look, Joe, I don't want that or anything else you have to offer.
Well, it's not for you. It's for my daughter. Our daughter.
Kelly has enough toys.
It's not from her daddy.
She doesn't have a daddy.
The court says different.
The court says you have to pay for my mistake. Child support. That's all. And you can do it by mail.
Look, Kelly's my kid. I can see her and bring her a present anytime I want.
Well, she's not here.
What'd you do, farm her out already?
Get up.
Look, I'm trying to act like a father.
I thought I could handle this, Reverend.
I thought you could, too.
Why don't you put in a swinging door?
If I did, Joe, it would swing one way. Out.
You know, you don't look much like the cleaning lady. Then again, you don't look like the moving man either.
I'm ready.
Well, that's saying goodbye?
Goodbye, Joe.
Look, I gotta know where to send the money for Kelly. I mean, you wouldn't want to miss those weekly checks, would you, Mommy?
Let go of her.
Why don't you run out and buy a calendar, preacher? This isn't Sunday. The meek don't inherit the earth.
Haven't you noticed? The world's changing. We jump right in the middle of things now, whether it's Sunday or not. They're Kelly's things, Mr. Rossi. Now, you can start acting like a father by taking them down to my car. It's the station wagon behind the boarding house. You know?
Where's she going?
Miss Smith and her baby will be staying with Mrs. Winter and me for a while.
Reverend? Does your wife know yet?